We'll reopen on the 10th of January. Same place, same time. Tonight, because we are closing, I thought I would give you a summary of what I try to tell you week after week of God's law and His promise. So we'll start with the law. It's the eternal principle. All things must bring forth after their kind. This is stated in the very first chapter of the book of Genesis. The law of the identical harvest. As long as the earth endures, there will be seed time and harvest. And he uses the analogy of trees, the analogy of all things in the world that you and I can see. But the New Testament teaches us that we plant not only the seed of the tree, we plant ideas. And be not deceived, God is not mocked. As a man sows, so shall he reap. For you and I are in this world of educated darkness, learning to create. For we are God, but we do not know it as yet. But God became as we are, that we may be as He is. For here we are learning to exercise our talent wisely, but we make mistakes. But the mistake will still occur in our world to show us what we have done. No condemnation is simply a prayer to show the individual what he has done with his talent, whether he used it wisely or unwisely. But here you'll take the Lord. In your own wonderful human imagination, all things exist. Everything that you can conceive of is all within your own wonderful human imagination. And all that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your own wonderful human imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. Your whole vast world, you are within me. I am within you. The whole vast world is within your own wonderful human imagination. Now, what do you do with it? How do you construct it? How do you simply rearrange the structure within you? For that will determine what you will encounter in this world. But it is an art. And like all art, you simply have to make every effort to discover how to practice it wisely. For this great secret of imagining is the greatest of all secrets that man could ever put his finger upon. Now here, let us take a few simple approaches to it. Suppose I wanted a better job, and I didn't have, as the world would tell me, which only reflects my own doubts, that I am not qualified. Well, they can't tell me anything other than what I'm telling myself. So if I am in doubt, they will tell me that I am not qualified. I can't get it. Or times are not right for it. Or things are difficult. Let me ignore for the moment what my reflection conveys. And then let me ask myself, what do I want? Because this will only tell me what I have done in the past. What do I want now? When I know exactly what I want, let me dare to assume that I am now the man that I want to be, and walk in the assumption that I am that man. If I dare to persist in that assumption, then the outer world will rearrange itself and reflect that within me that I have fixed, and it will become in the eyes of the world a fact. What we call the fact. The reality really is in my imagination and not in its actuality. The whole vast world seems so real, and we think that's where the reality is, in its actuality. It's not there. It's in the imaginal act. And then we project it upon the screen of space. Now, there are numberless facets to this wonderful principle. Here I am looking now at this room, and you're all real within this room. And yet my home is far more real to me than this room. I come here twice a week for 1 hour. And I live in my home almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's far more real to me than this room. This is used by many people, and my home is used only by my little family, my wife and myself. Yet at this moment, it simply is a flat picture, and this is a cubic reality. Why is this the cubic reality that I know so little about, and that I know so much about is only a flat surface? Because I am in this room now. If I am in the room, I give reality to the room, that when I leave it 1 hour from now, it also is a flat surface. I go home and enter my room, enter my home, and it is a cubic reality. Now here is the secret. Man is all imagination, and God is man, and exists in us and we in him. The eternal body of man is the imagination, and that is God himself. Being all imagination, I must be wherever I am in imagination. I am not anchored to this little body that I am wearing. I am wearing this body as I wear the suit of clothes. The day will come, the suit of clothes, I will wear it out and discard it. I will wear out this little body and discard it. But my immortal self is my own wonderful human imagination. And I am not confined to the garment that I am wearing that it may be seen in the world. I can sit down in a chair and assume that I am elsewhere. And if I dare to assume that I am elsewhere, I make it real and give it all the tones of reality, I am where I am assuming that I am. How will I know that I am there? Well, think of the world. That's all I do. If I dare to assume that now, this very moment, I am in New York City, how do I know that I am there? You say that I am all imagination, and I must be wherever I am in imagination. Well, how do I know that I'm really there? Well, let me think of the world. Do I see Los Angeles around me? Am I standing on it? Well, then I am not in New York City. If I don't see Los Angeles 3,000 miles to the west of me, I am not in New York City. For were I in New York City, I would have to see Los Angeles 3,000 miles to the west of me. For motion can be detected only by a change of position relative to objects. Well, now, if I feel that I've actually moved, well, then let me actually see it in my imagination relative to the former state. I do the same thing concerning going up in the social world, or the financial world, or the intellectual world. Today, my friends know me for a certain person, as a certain person. Suppose I desire to transcend that person. Would they know me the day I transcend it, or in the not distant future after I transcend it? They would, if they're my friends. We're in contact. I would be the same friend, but they would see me differently. Now let them see me differently. I dare to assume that I am now the man that I want to be, whether it be a financial gain or social gain or any other kind of gain. My friends would know it. Well, then, let them see me. All in my imagination. I rearrange the structure of the mind, and I fix it. As I fix it by sleeping in that assumption as though it were true. Well, then, in time, if this principle is true, that all things must bring forth after their kind, I'm planting a new seed. That is the seed spoken of in Scripture. I must not deceive myself, because God in me, which is my own imagination, is not mocked. If I dare to assume that I am the man, that at the moment of the assumption, reason is denying, and my senses deny, but I dare to assume and persist in that assumption, well then, if this principle is true, that all things come forth after their kind, then I shall produce the fruit of that seed. I have done it a number of times. So I tell you, I'm speaking to you from experience.